folks. Let's see here. Okay. Make sure we're live here. So hey Eli, how's it going, man? Thanks for coming out. Let's get these links going here. I got a new studio set up here, so I will get try to get a little peek at that. And I got some cool stuff to show you guys tonight, so stick around. I'm just going to get the links up, give a couple people a chance to show up. There we go. All right. I've been gone a couple weeks. It's been very busy here. It's been a very, very busy time. Last weekend was the Chicago Alternative Comics Expo, CAKE, which is a show that I am one of the organizers for. And so I was pretty busy leading up to that. And I also had a project coming to a close that I had a deadline on. And my kids started school, so it's been a busy time here. But glad that I could, finally get back on here to kind of show everybody what's been going on and do a quick little update. So, and then maybe I'll work on this. I got this Batman going here. I'm not sure. I've kind of just been goofing off with it for the last minute, doing some sketches. So we'll see if that actually turns into anything. We'll see what happens with that. But before we get to Batman, we are going to take a look at School Time Alone is Busy, Busy. Yeah, right, Eli, you know, man. You know how it is. But yes, before we get into the drawing, I'm going to, well, first, this is my new studio layout. It might not look that different, but if you look at the other streams, my desk was facing a different direction. Now I'm looking out my windows, so I can see, beautiful fall colors coming. And I have my computer here to the side, and I've also added a couch to the studio. So, it's been a dream of mine to have. I've been doing this for 20 years now. To have a studio that's mostly mine. I still do have to share that side of the room with other things, but to have a couch in there so you can be in your studio but take a break, instead of having to go somewhere else. Might seem silly and trivial, but I'm very excited about it. Like today I was working on my iPad, and so a lot of it was stuff that I prefer to do sitting on a couch or a chair that's not on the desk all the time. So it's nice to kind of have a little bit of freedom to do that. Anyway, Eli gets it. Okay, so before we do any more drawing, we are going to look at some books that I got at CAKE. And I'm trying to decide where to start. You know what I'll start with? I'll start with my good friend Isabella Rotman, because I saved this for the live stream so that I could kind of show how awesome Izzy's books are. So Isabella Rotman is a friend of mine that I've known for a long time, independent comic artist. Does really incredible work, very beautiful and detailed, and is a close friend, and I am always very excited when she has a new book come out. She's been doing this series with demons in the title, so there's, I think there's one called Burn Your Demons, one called Run With Your Demons, and this one's called Scale Your Demons. So a lot of them are sort of these explorations of sort of personal feelings of, how to find peace with the different parts of yourself. It's maybe, I don't know if it's specifically always, it's autobiographical in a lot of ways, I feel like, but I think it's also open to be something you can interpret for your own life. BMC Comics, oh, thanks for being here, man. So one of the cool things is Izzy still does a lot of her work by hand. I mean, she's been published and she's got lots of cool projects out, but she still makes these little books by hand. And she has a wax seal. It'd be kind of hard to see, but with it says burn your demons here, which was I think what the original one was. And she wax seals these, and so I kind of wanted to break this open on the stream, and hopefully not rip it or anything. But I really, really, really like stuff like this. It just gives you a little different experience with the book, and gives you that little personal touch. I used to emboss some of my books. I always wanted to do a wax seal, and Izzy really did a great job here, kind of bringing that little extra touch. I'm such a baby about it too. I know I should just rip it, but I'm just gonna cut this a little bit here, see if we can not damage it too bad. But yeah, Izzy is awesome, and I absolutely love all of her work, but especially her stuff that is a little more personal like this, because she does a lot of instructional things too. Like she does some stuff about sex education, and just recently did one about how to self-publish your own comics, which I recommend everybody do. I put it in my stories, but if you just go check out This Might Hurt on Instagram, or go to IsabelRotman.com, you can see her work there. But anyway, so you pop this open, and you can see she sort of has this really nice clean line style, and does use these circle motifs for paneling on occasion. Different moments, I think, very directly related to her life. Looks like this was the naked bike ride they do here in Chicago. I love it. She does these like little twisty balloon tails. They kind of dance around the characters. You know, here it's sort of this kind of nice circular vibe. The window with the trees behind it here, done just with negative space and like black on white, is amazing. And what an awesome contrast against the clean lines here. Oh man, it's beautiful stuff. It's really beautiful stuff. So the drawing is great. I mean, the writing is very poetic. Izzy is just yeah, kind of the work always has this sort of transcendent quality to it, where it feels you know, like it's really reaching for ultimate truths, you know, but also questioning. You know, it's really, really great. You got some panelless or borderless panels here. So you should absolutely check out Isabel Rotman's work. She's one of my favorite artists and a good friend, and just creates incredible imagery, accompanied by just not heart-wrenching, but heart-affirming, heart-feel. You know, it gives you all the feels. You know, it's the kind of work that gives you just all the feels. So that's Isabel Rotman. Oh, beautiful paper too. Oh man, you know, Izzy is one of the best. All right, let's check in with the chat here. Nick Force, that looks incredible. Yes, Natalie Bracanot seals her art with wax and felt terrible breaking it. Wax seals make sense. There also came a time when people opened letters with small knives. Yes, I remember having a little pen knife like that when I was a kid. Well, I should probably keep going because I've got a lot of these books and I tend to yabber on and on. Yabber? This is a book by one of the special guests. So I got all these books at Cake this weekend. So Cake is the Chicago Alternative Comics Expo, and I've been an organizer for the last few years. Only had a chance to do a couple shows, and you know, since everything that's been going on the last few years. But this year we were back for another year, and I was you know, one of the organizers with a bunch of other really amazing, awesome people on the organizational team that really do a lot of work, and it's all volunteer work. So if you've never been to a show like Cake, it's a little different than like a C2E2 in that it's very, very artist focused and very, very comics focused, and it's very community focused. It feels very open and lots of great communication, and it's the kind of comic convention that I think everyone should attend, as a fan of comics, or even if you haven't been a fan, it's different kinds of comics like you're going to see tonight than what a lot of people think of. And I think you can really be exposed to some stuff that will really speak to you and inspire you. And if you're an artist or a comic creator, going to these shows is a great place to see the medium really pushed in different directions than you're going to see in a lot of the mainstream publishers. Like this book by one of our special guests this year was Karen Chapp. And Karen is an awesome artist that I've met a few times over the years and always absolutely loved their work. And Karen was one of our special guests this year, and I had to pick up this new book called Off Leash, which is sort of, the concept is that it's a reality TV show where owners are judged by how well they do training their dogs. And so they're tasked with training these dogs, and there's like a big prize and stuff. And it's pretty cool because it's just a it's told in a very realistic way, but very self-aware of the tropes of reality television shows. Karen's line work has so much life to it. It might be hard to see, but it's got so much life and bounce to it. It's very, it's got a cartooniness to it, but it's also got a very kind of French influence. There's always a lot of nice movement and face lines and bodies in motion. And these panel layouts are nuts, right? And the really cool thing that you see a lot of indie people really exploring is simple uses of color holds or slash, opacity of different line art layers. And just doing that alone can push things forward and backward. Like here you have a darker, line art color, and here it's lighter. And it can really push things forward and back and create some nice depth. But anyway, this kind of plays out going through kind of each character's experiences and who they are. It introduces them all and who their dogs are and what their issues are. And some of the artwork here too that I'll point out is just this car is really amazing. All these little solid black areas. And same thing with the forests and the trees here. Really awesome. I had never thought about this, but there, Karen did like a lighter color on the balloon and words here, which again in real life this is a little easier to make out, but I think I really like that, because what it is sort of her talking over the footage, kind of in those interview portions they'll do in a reality show, and so it kind of works on this like meta level from what the main storytelling techniques are. But anyway, this is just like a really fun little concept, and lots of personality in each one of the characters, and they kind of allude to some of the coming drama. So I really hope that I don't know if this is a one-off, but I really hope that Karen does some more of these. It's very cool. So charmgardens.com, you can find more from Karen, and they also run a like a comics distribution kind of thing. So definitely go check them out. Here we go. Next, I got to talk about this. Checking the chat again here. Spiritual successor to Best in Show. Nick, kinda. I mean, but like less. It's not. It's definitely not like there's parts of it that it could be funny, or maybe I'm just not getting it. But it seems like it's kind of, it's like serious, but not like in a sad way. It's like fun, serious. It's like here's a fun story about people in this competition. It doesn't. The nice thing about a lot of the comics that you get at shows like this is they don't adhere to a lot of the tropes of storytelling that we see in a lot of other things. And so it's definitely not a mocking, it doesn't feel like a book that's mocking anything. In any case, next book I got here is by another pal, Penina Gal. That rhymed. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. My pal, Penina Gal. So Penina, I met ages ago at some shows. Always with another friend, Betsy Swardwick, and I always try to say hi to them and see them when they're in town, and they're Penina's awesome. Penina's stuff is very sort of autobio and sort of poetic in a similar way to say a John Porcellino. Usually there's a single image on a page, and occasionally it'll break that. And they represent sort of these micro moments in sort of, I guess, Penina's past. And so this one has a lot to do with you know, wanting basketball shoes and loving to play basketball and not wanting to dress like a girl, and you know, kind of getting close with I think it's a cousin that you know, yeah, you know, so it, you know, right here she's saying, oh, here's what's on my bedroom wall, you know, clippings from National Geographic, a basketball poster, a picture of a wolf. She's reading comics at night in her bed and practicing basketball. So, you know, it might just seem kind of mundane, you know, to someone who's not maybe familiar with this kind of work, but there's a dreaminess to it that really connects it to real memories, where the text is and the image on this are so efficient in getting it across, like the parts that stuck in Panina's head about these times, or invented times. I assume they're real times, but you know, either way, it's like these little micro moments that represent a larger narrative of like a person's life, right? And that's really hard to distill those things down. And so when there's a choice to have, say, a page with no text, it's just something, you know, that makes you pause and think about what is going on in this moment and why is it important. Really just super efficient cartooning that I wish I could do, right? Like, this shot completely sells that this person knows how to shoot a basketball, other than the previous pages kind of telling you how it's going to go. And then just a gray tone to separate the background, and then here too. The backboard doesn't, you know, it kind of goes off panel, quote, but there's not even a panel border here. But that's so efficient. It adds a little bit of drama, that it's not just a square and a square. It adds a little bit of depth, that you have these lines, you know, going over the top of the gray here. It's really smart cartooning, like really, really smart cartooning. So I definitely recommend checking out. Panini has a bunch of these books that are there's Panini, that are you know, similar to this. And so if you've never checked out work like this, or even if you have, if you like autobio stuff, I really recommend checking out Panina's stuff. Paper Rocket Mini Comics, they call it. Panina Gal. So, good pal. Panina Gal. Alright, let's get to... Here, I'll show you guys one that's kind of crazy. Let's shift gears a second here. So this one, my buddy Reed was in town last week, and he used to be a comic artist, and he would do a lot of shows with me, and we would share table space and stuff. And I hadn't seen him in a while, and he came to town for cake, and he was really, you know, it was really good to see him. But he got a chance to walk around the show a lot more than I did. I was sort of tied to I was running the programming table and doing the panels with our special guests, so I was kind of tied to that. But he walked around and he found some cool stuff, and then when he brought it back over and showed it to me, I'm like, dude, I have 5 minutes to walk around, like, show me where this was. And so this was one he got from a creator, Zach Lydon. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of Zach. He seems to have a pretty big following online. And this stuff is really cool. It has sort of a manga, anime feeling mashed up with kind of a little bit of a European feel. It's really beautifully illustrated and completely bonkers. It's called My Beautiful CEO Volume 2. So I'm guessing there's a Volume 1. Oh, actually, I know there is. It was just sold out. But it's got this really cool look to it. Whoa, that's kind of looking crazy right now on the screen, at least on my screen. Anyway, you can see he's using a lot of manga techniques with these gray tones. They're not quite zip tones, but they're, you know, screen tones, but they have a similar read. It's like a textured gradient in spots. And then the clean line style and the speed lines and sort of these really tight panel borders. This is sort of like a weird fever dream. It seems to be a lot about, this is a really cool image. It seems to have a lot to do about maybe capitalism and the corruption of huge corporations. I wouldn't say there's well, maybe there is a story. I guess there's kind of a story with this guy coming up with this idea that sort of carries you through, but it's kind of like these little vignettes. And this guy comes up with this idea for the hamburger holder. It's like a little pouch that you use to hold your hamburger, I guess, so you don't get your hamburger all over your hands. So anyway, this corporation makes the hamburger holder, and then it kind of pollutes the whole world and ruins things. And then he has these cute drawings of these kids cleaning up all this garbage. Like the children are put to work cleaning up our garbage. It's a pretty wild comic. You can see a little bit of a Lupin influence on some of the art too. Maybe some Shiro, really nice stuff. Really cool stuff. Kind of trippy. So I would recommend checking this one out. Zach Lydon is on, I think I found him on Instagram, and yeah, at Zach Lydon. Pretty cool. My Beautiful CEO, Volume 2. Okay, alright. To shift gears again, I have to show you the new comic from my friend Gina Winbrandt. Gina Winbrandt is a national treasure. Gina has been around the comic scene here in Chicago for a while now, and makes really hilarious, sort of satirical, self-deprecating, self-aware, self-affirming, sort of autobio fantasy, I guess you'd call it. But lately she's been doing a bunch of things about baseball, and I am not a baseball fan, but I can even appreciate this. Baseball has this commissioner, and he's been changing the rules of baseball to make it more entertaining. And so Gina kind of goes through and shows some of the rule changes, but as it goes on, I mean, they start off and it's real rule changes. The base size will increase, more excitement. And she's got these little interactions here where he's saying the rule, they'll show a clip of what it does, and then he reacts, love that action. And it kind of keeps going, and the things that they start to say they do gets a little more crazy. Like, all broadcast games will feature micro betting opportunities. Well, this might be true, making the game more engaging. And then it has a gambling, like a gambling addict helpline. Or we also have some changes for minor league players. They will now be fed 2 hot dogs a day instead of 1. And then all the minor leaguers are required to take turns as a mascot for the teams. So it goes through all these different things. I think one of them is the pitcher gets spanked by his mom. They play nude at the end of the game, I think it is. Really fun little comics. She did another one about this Mariners player. What's his name? She would kill me because there's this guy, Jared something. Anyway, she's done a bunch of really great work that I've probably even showed some of it off here before. But Gina's really awesome. She's on Instagram, Gina Winbrandt. She's pretty awesome. Check out her work. Okay, 2 more of these, and then we'll look at some Batman. So one of the awesome things that Cake does, and I'm encouraging you folks out there that are artists to look into this, is we do a thing called the Cupcake Award, which is sort of like a grant, or like an award we give to an artist that we think is an unpublished artist, a young artist, or it doesn't have to be young, but like new to making art person. They can be any age. That we think we'd like to see them. We think that they we think they're awesome, and we want to give them a little bit of help to publish their first comic. So the idea is that when you can apply for the award. It's called the Cupcake Award, and it goes through a jury, and then you are picked by some professional comic artist or someone who does have a career in comics. I was a mentor one year. You're picked by the mentor, or you pick there's a mentor that you are signed with, and that mentor will kind of help you put together your book, and then there's a monetary reward so that you can put that towards the publication of the book. And it's a really cool award. And then the next year after you win the award, you also get a table at Cake. So it's a really fun, cool award, and anybody can apply for it. I mean, anybody who's not been published before. You can't be Frank Miller and apply for the Cupcake Awards. For unpublished artists that are looking to get into comics more. So we had a couple awesome winners this year. This one is by Ellie Estrella Perez. And Ellie was one of our cupcake winners, and we did a panel as well with our cupcake winners and their mentors. And it was really fun, and they were all so well spoken and so awesome. There's links to the Cupcake winners art on the Cake website if you go to cakechicago.com. But this one, Ellie came over and gave me a copy of the book that they did, and I was like, this is your first comic? Like, this is crazy, man. Like, it's not only is this just a huge amount of pages and story, but it's a risograph printed book, and so, you know, that adds another level of kind of difficulty in figuring out your color separations and everything. And it just turned out so beautiful. Both of our Cupcake winners, they did such amazing work, and I was just so impressed. You know, every year that we give out the award, it's like so inspiring to see what people are doing. This is called Go Chica Go, and it is by Ellie Perez, and this is a memoir comic about her time in the roller derby league here in Chicago, and also sort of exploring maybe, her sexuality and who she is as a person, and sort of relationships and in and out of relationships. So a lot of that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it's a super awesome book and kind of a long thread, and so I'm not going to show every page because it is a lot. But it is full of some really cool imagery, and it might be hard to see on the camera because some of it's a little light. But you can see that the line work is really clean, really has a great sense of just efficiency to it. And then she does some really cool cartoon faces here. You know, Ellie's faces are really great. And you can see here, what you're seeing is with a Riso machine, it's sort of like an offset machine that prints one color at a time. And so you can mix colors, but you can also do pure red, pure green. And so there's this red kind of blue combo here that when that does get layered up. So you see it, you're going through the book and you're seeing red sort of representing certain kind of emotions and feelings, and blue kind of being everything else. And when certain characters show up, see how they pop off the page like that? And it's a little, like I said, it's a little hard to see on here just because of the light I have. I have a bad setup, but in real life, it's even poppier. And you get these little sort of slight misregistrations in Riso that I just find to be so awesome and unique and beautiful and adds to the work. But in any case, as you go through, there's also going to be moments where what you can do with Riso is you can overlap the colors. And man, there's just some really nice drawing in here. And things start to turn purple, which is really cool. You have to kind of plan where the colors are going to do that. And then you can kind of have these moments where your representational colors that you've chosen, even just two colors like this, can kind of add another layer to the storytelling, because the format and the execution is sort of giving you a little more of a push in the direction of kind of what the feelings are, what the connections are between the people. And I find that to be pretty awesome, pretty darn awesome. So Ellie's book is really, really great, a really nice little memoir, and really impressive for someone's first book. I mean, above and beyond, and really excited to see what they come out with next. And it was printed here in Chicago also at Spudnik Press, which is an awesome place where you can learn how to do Riso printing and other printing techniques. So you can find Ellie at www.ellieart.art. But yeah, good stuff. Okay, so the last one I'm going to show, and then I'm going to get down to some Batman, is one of my all-time favorite artists, Anders Nilsson. So Anders Nilsson is a artist that used to live here in Chicago, went to school at the Art Institute just like me, but at a different time. But that's where I discovered his work, actually, was when I was in school. He had just finished up, I think, as a master's student, and I had the same boss that he had, and they showed me his comics, and I was like, whoa, these are crazy. He did a book called Big Questions for a long time, which is sort of about these talking animals with existential questions. Really amazing stuff. He did a book called Don't Go Where I Can't Follow, about losing his partner. He did a book called The End, another book called Dogs and Water, kind of a post-apocalyptic thing. Anders Nilsson's work is very, very awesome. And he's currently doing a book called Tongues, which, look at the size of this thing. It is big and beautiful, but it does make it difficult to store. But you can buy these directly from him. He sells them through his website. He's kind of doing this himself, and I totally respect and love that as well. I do think that this will probably get collected by someone like Fantagraphics. A lot of his work is at Fantagraphics, which probably won't come as a surprise as you see what it looks like. If you've never heard of Anders, though, I highly recommend checking out Big Questions. It's like the size of the Bible, but it's an easy read in the sense that it's not like crazy numbers of words on every page, right? It's kind of paced out with the illustrations. But man, the production on all of Anders' books is always amazing. He makes incredible design choices and just amazing aesthetic decisions that are, iconographic and representational, but still abstract, so that, it's imagery that ties into imagery in the book, but not in any way that, I mean, maybe I just am not seeing it, but not in any way that's literally connected to, like, this shot is in the comic, right? It's just sort of set dressing, and this is going to look not good on the camera either, because he does use a lot of dark colors, which on paper are just, oh my gosh, so beautiful. But we'll get to some of the ones that are a little easier to see. But this is a hard comic to describe. It's sort of about the gods that are the gods of our reality. It has a lot of ties to Christian and Greek mythology and different philosophical things. All of Anders' work is sort of peppered with this kind of deep thoughts kind of things, which I really like, but there's always a fantastical element as well. Like here, this guy's head was growing a fungus out of it, and his head came off. And they're like, whoa. And they're in the desert in Afghanistan or somewhere, and there's like a drug or a arms deal going on or something. And then you're underground, and you're talking to this, goat person. Anders does these insane kind of panel shapes that interlink like puzzle pieces. And there's no gutter on a lot of the panels. Some of his other work doesn't look like this, but on Tongues, that's what he's doing. Some of his other work has no borders at all, which is cool. It's kind of, I think I did a talk with him one time, and I think he said something like, yeah, I did less and less borders, early on, and then I had no borders, and then I was like the no borders guy, so then I was like, well, I'll just do lots of crazy borders now. So he's self-aware, but, it works for the book too. The book feels kind of like a puzzle. And it's about this girl, and she's sort of been pulled into this whole thing with these gods underground. They might be demons. It's probably pretty obvious if you know all of the mythological background, but since it's presented in such a different way, it feels like it could be interpreted slightly different from that. This guy starts talking about conspiracy theories, which I'm all about. He's been watching YouTube. There's lots of cool little acting moments. Another thing that Anders' work does that's kind of unique is the way the word balloons are sort of just tailored to the actual size of the words that he writes. And I could be wrong, but I believe in my conversation with him, he almost goes directly to pen when he's drawing. He just starts drawing in pen and then writing the words out. And so he's got these weird shaped balloons, but they also have these, I was talking about it with Izzy's work too, these crazy tails on the balloons that kind of interlock with each other and separate. And that's something he's done through all of his work, which I think is really cool. It definitely looks different than what a lot of people are used to, but it's pretty cool. Nick Forrest Cupcake Award. Yeah, it is cool. It is very cool. Tell anybody you know that makes comics. I love subverting mechanics like that. Me too. Me too. I think one of the things I like about Anders' work is that he does sort of always push things in new directions, even though it always still looks like Anders. And like this part where all these words start coming out of this pit and sort of surrounding her. And then it gets like super trippy at the end. The paneling goes nuts. I mean, I don't want to reveal the whole ending here, but it goes totally crazy. And so I highly, highly, highly recommend you check out Tongues. I don't know if this is the last issue. I don't know. I'm on his newsletter. I didn't read the last newsletter, but I have quite a few of the issues of this. I don't have all of them, but I guarantee you, if you get them, they will be very good. He's one of the all-time best. Good dude, Anders. All right, so guys, I've been adjusting to a lot of new things this last week, including a new studio, a new schedule, not having organizer duties for a minute. and then visitors at my house all month. And I've been trying to wrap up this project I'm working on. So I haven't done a lot of superhero stuff. So when I was like, oh, maybe I'll try Batman, I was like, I'll just whip him out. But didn't come quite as easy. Although I do think that whatever I have here, I can make work. But I really do want to try to do something that I don't know why I'm trying to warn anybody, but I'm going to try to do something probably that's a little more abstract here. I don't really feel like drawing a bunch of windows, so but I do feel like making some cool marks and shapes, so we're going to kind of focus on that tonight. And I'm not even going to do a crazy pose, I don't think. I'm just going to sort of leave this kind of how it is here. And I don't think I'm even going to draw any perspective grids, y'all. We're just going to go nuts. We're living the dangerous life. New, new, new. New, 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 new. Nanu, nanu. Living La Vida Loca over here. And then, you know, I'm already feeling that spooky season kind of vibe. So I'm gonna need to. I think I'm gonna need to be watching a scary movie tonight or something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying, man. It's like some leaves start falling, and I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Not sure exactly what I got going on up here, but we're gonna roll with it, right? We're gonna have a good time because I just want to do a nice, fun, quick one. I do. I have some commissions that I have been tasked with recently that I'm very excited about. So I'm sure I'm going to break out some of those on some live streams. But I haven't actually announced it publicly. If you're not on my newsletter, you don't know. But if you're on my newsletter, you know I opened a commission list for New York City Comic Con. I haven't done a public announcement because I might be pretty much full now, but you know, if you're on the stream right now and this is first you're hearing of it and you want to get on the list, you can shoot me an email and I'm sure I can find a spot for you. But I mean, I'm talking like tonight. But if you don't, I can't make any guarantees. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I got some really cool ones to do, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'm trying to get my groove back with some of this superhero stuff because the other project I've been working on is not superhero-y. It's really awesome and I love it and I'm so excited about it, but it is not a superhero comic at all. You could maybe say it's got some fantasy elements, I guess. Different style for me, but really fun. Actually, I've been exploring a lot of stuff like what I'm trying to do here with just trying to use negative space a little more intentionally. And okay, so I wanted originally to do like an what's it called, absolute Batman here, because I love Dragata stuff, and I might still try to do that, even though I don't know if this is the right kind of pose for him. We'll see what the costume looks like when I get this kind of filled in here. But he's an absolute unit, so we're gonna. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Woo! Y'all. It might be a tough one tonight. We'll see. We might have to really just open our minds a little bit and see what happens here. Yeah, you know, I don't know, something like that. Something. Spooky season, that's right, man. Oh, you got your Halloween stuff up already? Eli, thank you. Yes, commission list. You know, hopefully do some cool stuff. And yes, I'll be at New York City Comic Con for the first time. Hopefully it'll go well. I'm a little nervous, but I'm a little excited. You know, I think it'll be cool, right? I've never even been as an attendee, so I'm like, you know, I haven't been in New York in like probably 12 years, something like that. So, but hey, I'm from Chicago, it'll be fine. That could be, no, I don't know about that either. Sometimes you think you have something, and then you're like, nah, that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Okay, what's this fool look like anyway? Oh, yeah, I'll look it up on the computer real quick. Nobody can see. Absolute Batman. Regatta. Dang, Regatta can draw, bro. That dude is so good. Sick. It's like, it's the Batman costume, you know? But like, it's just these little touches, man, like turning the gloves into bands and kind of the shape that the, what do they call it, the belt things make. And then the wispy cape, which I did not give myself room to do here. And then he's got a little Regatta face going. Oh, these little bat on the shoes, that's pretty cool. He good, man. Okay, let's look at this one. Oh yeah, little spikes on there, that's cool. I'm not gonna try to mess with whatever's going on with his cape on his hands, but okay, so he's got like a black. He's got my favorite little shapes here. Kind of wraps here. Oh yeah, this bat symbol thing is pretty cool, dude. Sweet. That's sick. Yeah, Dragata I think is very underrated. I mean, I guess I say underrated. He's like one of the most popular artists, right? But I think his stuff is unique in a way that a lot of other well-known people's is not. Like, I don't feel he's one of those artists that you can absolutely see his influences, but not in a way where he draws like any one specific person. It feels more like he is like a straight up amalgamation of a lot of different things, like generally like manga and you know Eduardo Riso type, Alex Toth type, that kind of thing. And then there's always these kind of more, I mean, he's done that full on manga style, but then East of West is sort of a little bit different. You can still see the manga style, but it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just be like, oh, he draws like Frank Quietly. Like, it's not that easy. It's that easy with some other artists. They just draw like that other guy. But Nick's stuff feels very much like only Nick. I have yet to meet Mr. Dragata, but I would like to someday talk shop. I don't like that face though. This is pretty basic, y'all. I hope you still dig it. Just keeping it simple for my own enjoyment and sanity. I feel like I want his head to be a little smaller. Kind of feeling my angles here. Halloween Beetlejuice. That's cool. Oh, cool, Nick, you live there. That's awesome. I am staying with a friend who lives there, which obviously makes it a lot easier, which is really nice. But thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, part of an axe head? Yeah, that is pretty cool. Frank Quietly in mine is a gritty style with almost... Sure, yeah, like Frank Quietly. Yeah, I mean, Nick doesn't draw like Frank Quietly. This Nick doesn't. But a lot of people do. A lot of people do just draw like Frank Quietly. Which, hey, man, I mean, there's worse people to draw like. Quietly's a freaking beast, man. He's one of the all-timers. I'm still not 100% sold on this. I thought I had the head figured out, but... Blah, blah, blah. I was telling my wife that I have not found my groove all day. So I was like, I'm not sure how it's going to go tonight, hon. I have been not grooving today. So I wanted to keep it kind of simple, but yeah, this was the first like weekday I had when my kid I was in school. It was all last week she was in school, but I had company all weeks, and I was finishing up a bunch of project stuff that was not like, I was not around the house. So don't know. PS153, just wanted to say I picked up the schlub this weekend and I laughed right through it. Dude, it's so fun. Already recommended to friends. Thank you so much, PS153. I really appreciate that. We worked really hard on the schlub, and I do feel like there's still room for us to have a little more audience on it. So please spread the word. They should be able to get it just about anywhere, but if they can't find it somewhere, I have some copies right here at my house that I would love to send to people. You can buy them on tyrellcannon.com, and I will sign every copy that I sell through the website and throw in some free schlub stickers. But thank you so much for saying that and for spreading the word. Sometimes just sketching with the homies is all it ever goes to. Hey, there's Ichthus. Hey, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that this will be like my only take on the Absolute Batman, because I kind of would like to do a really cool drawing. But tonight, I'm just shooting for something to kind of get my system shocked a little bit, so I can get back to work tomorrow and feel like I know what I'm doing again. So it might not actually do that even for me tonight. But we're gonna dive into this here in a second with some ink and just see what happens, y'all. I have no idea. Okay, he's got like these little nubbies here. Like armor things. I like that. I like that. Some up here. Gotta make sure those are good. Yeah. You know what, y'all? I'm just gonna go for it. PS153. Is there more schlub coming? Maybe someday. Oh, and Ichthus, yes, the trade paperback is out. I also have those for sale on my website. They are also available from fine booksellers everywhere and from Image Comics. But yeah, as far as more schlub, I would really like to. Ryan and Kenny are both, well, Ryan is very busy right now with The Missionary, which is doing with Jason Howard, and drawing X-Men. And then Kenny and I are actually working on a couple pitches right now, so we'll see what happens. But someday I would love to do some more schlub. We'll see though, it's Ryan's baby, so it needs his approval to get anywhere, so we'll see what Ryan wants to do. If it becomes an overnight hit again, we will definitely do more, because Ryan likes money. We all like money. I really like this bat symbol too. Subtle but effective. I'm gone a little low here. Keep it quick. We're going to keep it quick and loose on this one, folks. I was too locked in earlier. There's my boy Derek, speaking of the devil. Good to see you, man. PS153, cool. Definitely follow whatever comes next. Thanks, man. Well, there's other things coming, just maybe not the schlub right now. So yes, I will have some new projects coming soon of my own. My comic Eris, I'm still working on finishing up, so that'll be the next thing that people see from me, hopefully. And then this other project that I can't talk about, that I'm excited about. So yeah, the newsletter is the best way to kind of stay abreast of everything that I have going on. Okay. Okay. What is this belt look like? Kind of a cocky look like in here. Yeah, you know. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Alright. Let's see if this is salvageable. Hey dude, that Batman looks rad. Can't wait to read that book. Jordan, I would love to do that too. I would love to. How was Labor Day weekend? Mine was good. How was everyone else's? Mine was great. We had a wonderful time. Kids playing around the house. I reorganized the studio. I was told I had to do it this weekend, so I did. But yes, it was a good weekend. How about all y'all? Did y'all have a good weekend? Yeah, I feel like I didn't really experience the first week of school normally because I was busy with other things. And so then Labor Day weekend felt like, okay, we have a weekend now, like that's long, which I didn't even get in the groove yet. But the weather was pretty nice here. Yeah, we had some good times with some friends. Safe, normal. If this part doesn't pay off, we'll pivot, but we'll see. I still haven't seen Longlegs. I'm excited to see that. And I haven't seen Maxine yet either. I'm hoping I can get to those during this holiday season. I saw there's a new VHS coming out. I'm stoked for that. I always love those VHS movies. They're always a good time. Well, geez, thanks, Pepsi Cola. Productive weekend. Happy to cut your lawn. Hey, yeah, right? We haven't had a lot of rain here this last week, but we I would like some rain. I'm sure you would like to have less rain there, probably, which is understandable. You know what, though, guys? I'm just going to pivot for a second here. what have you guys been reading? I was just talking the other day to Aubrey Sitterson, my beef brother, about that new Wolverine book that Capullo's on. You guys pick that up? What did you think? I looked at it. It's some pretty cool art. I've always loved Capullo. I think that's a great fit for him. Thanks, Jeremy. Good seeing you, man. I'm doing well. Two novels, The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett and Dead Set by Richard Kadri. I've never heard either one of those, Nick. Good names, though. Jeremy Hyler, I've seen him drawing it. Curious about the story, though. Have to scoop it up. Yes. Derek Jones, finally read Silver Surfer Black. Probably the best superhero thing I've read in years. Dude, obviously. I thought you'd seen Silver Surfer Black, man. I would have been shoving that in your face like the whole time you were here if I had known that. That's trad, man. I love me some trad. You know that. Everybody knows that. Yeah, Silver Surfer Black is very good. Yeah, man, it's real good. Did you get like the big edition? I wish I had that. I just have the regular floppies, man. I didn't even get the special edition when it came out. I slept on it, and now I feel like I don't know if it's hard to get now or what. Y'all, we might just go with this guy right now, because, like, I don't know. I might just do this one real quick and see what happens, and then I gotta call it, right? Oh, every night is not always the perfect night, but you know, you do your best. Batman Year One Artist Edition. Woo, Jeremy. Dang, dude. Nice. Yeah, I don't have that year one. I know, like everyone else I know got it. I was like debating it, but I was trying to cut back a little bit. I got a couple artist editions this year already, and I was like, okay, you know, I got the Mike Goldman one. I got that Frazetta book. I was like, maybe that's good enough for this year. And then I was like, oh dang. I do have the Born Again one, so I guess that's a good consolation. Yeah, my buddy Ryan Lee hooked me up with Sean and Ryan Lee hooked me up with an artist proof of that Daredevil Born Again I have over here on the shelf. I'm afraid to take it out sometimes. But it's pretty darn cool. It's got those overlays and everything. It's pretty neat, man. It's a pretty cool book. Okay. Y'all, I don't even know. We're having a good time though. We're having a good time. We're gonna just do one or two more things. Does this thing even work anymore? Let's see if this thing even works anymore. Aw, dang. Aw, dang, it kind of works. Let's see what we can ruin here. Now we're gonna do... It's like so not working right, but that's okay. It's kind of giving me a neat effect here. Beef Bros Batman, yeah. Alright, Derek, I'll talk to you soon, man. We need to get hooked up, dude. My last week flew by before I could even think about it, brother. Let's talk soon. I'm glad Jeremy likes this Batman. I kind of like this one. But you know what, guys? I owe you another Batman. I'm going to do another Batman next week when maybe I have a little more energy in me. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the earlier part. If you didn't, go back and watch some of those cool book previews that I did. And hopefully next week I'll be back again in the new studio, and maybe I'll promise you another Batman and another sneak peek. Here, if you stuck around to the end, I'll show you something. Let me show you something. If you stuck around this long, I'm going to show you another sneak peek of my next book that I've been working on. Here you go. Here is a page from the next book that I'm working on. As you can see, quite a bit different, but hey, here's another page. Why not? Why not? And these are going to be in gray tones, so I'm excited for you guys to see more of that as things develop. But thank you everybody again. Enjoy your evenings, and I will see you next Tuesday.